Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about Family Guy Season 2, Episode 16, titled There's Something About Polly. This episode takes Peter into some dangerous territory when he gets mixed up with the mob. And of course, everything spins out of control in the funniest way possible. The story begins with Lois planning a special dinner for her parents' anniversary. She invites her mother, Babs, and her father, Carter Pewterschmidt. As usual, Carter doesn't like Peter at all. He thinks Peter is unworthy of Lois and never hides his disapproval. Peter tries hard to impress his in-laws, but it just doesn't work. Carter insults him, and Lois tells Peter he needs to be more responsible and act like an adult if he wants her parents to respect him. Around this time, Peter goes with Lois to buy a car. While he's at the dealership, he accidentally offends a mobster by refusing to pay for extra protection on the car. The mobster threatens him, but another gangster named Big Fat Polly steps in and helps Peter out. Polly protects Peter and tells the other mobsters to back off. Grateful, Peter invites Polly over to his house for dinner. At first, Peter doesn't realize how serious it is to be friends with a mobster. He just thinks Polly is a nice guy who stood up for him. But soon, Polly starts hanging around all the time. He comes to family dinners, spends time with Peter, and even tries to bond with Lois. While Peter enjoys the perks of being friends with a mob guy, Lois becomes uncomfortable. She doesn't want criminals involved with their family. Things get even more complicated when Polly develops a crush on Lois. He starts bringing her gifts, complimenting her, and trying to win her attention. Lois makes it very clear that she's not interested, but Polly doesn't give up easily. This creates a huge problem because Peter is now stuck between his wife and his mob friend. Peter tries to ignore it at first, but when Polly goes too far, Lois finally tells Peter that he needs to end the friendship. Peter, nervous about confronting a mobster, tries to break things off gently, but Polly doesn't take the rejection well. He feels betrayed and decides to turn against Peter. Now, instead of protecting him, Polly wants revenge. This leads to one of the funniest yet most intense parts of the episode. Peter finds himself being hunted by the mob. Polly sends gangsters after him, and Peter has to constantly look over his shoulder. There's even a scene where Peter is driving and suddenly realizes someone is following him. His paranoia grows and he can't relax. Lois tells Peter that the only way to solve this is to talk to Polly directly and make peace. But when Peter tries, Polly refuses to listen. The tension builds until Polly finally decides he's had enough of Peter and takes action. However, just when things are about to get very bad for Peter, Polly is suddenly killed by another mob hit. It turns out Polly's boss wasn't happy with him, and they decided to take him out. With Polly gone, Peter is safe again. Of course, he breathes a huge sigh of relief. The danger is over and life goes back to normal. Lois reminds Peter that his choices brought them into this mess, and Peter promises to be more careful in the future. But in typical Family Guy fashion, we know he won't actually change. The episode ends with a darkly funny twist. Even though Peter got lucky this time, the show makes it clear that dealing with the mob is never a good idea. But as always, the danger is balanced with plenty of jokes, making it one of the funnier and more action-filled episodes of the season. There's something about Polly is memorable because it mixes comedy with a mafia-style storyline. What did you think was the funniest part? Peter enjoying the perks of mob friendship, Polly trying to charm Lois, or Peter panicking while being hunted? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, next time we'll dive into Season 2, Episode 17, He's Too Sexy for His Fat, which is all about Chris and his struggles with body image. That one has some great moments, so stay tuned.